Before the world called him a legend, he was just a tiny kid from Tijuana with a dream too big for his frame. Oscar Gutierrez was barely 14 when he first stepped into the ring. The mask swallowing his face, his heart pounding louder than the crowd. Trained under his uncle, Rey Mysterio Sr., the young prodigy lived and breathed Lucha Libre, a sacred Mexican art form where identity, honor, and family pride all lived behind the mask. In the early 1990s, Mexico's lucha scene was electric. Small arenas filled with handmade signs, trumpets blaring, children in replica masks. But nobody moved like Rey Mysterio Jr. He didn't just wrestle, he flew. His aerial attacks, hurricane ranas, springboard moonsaults, dives through impossibly small spaces, felt like watching physics break in real time. Every night, he was redefining what a smaller man could do. Fans began whispering, El Niño Maravilla, the Wonder Boy. By 1993, he was competing in ALTA, Mexico's hottest promotion, standing toe-to-toe with veterans twice his size. Audiences couldn't believe this teenager was tossing grown men around like rag dolls with sheer agility. In 1995, the American eyes of ECW and WCW began watching. Promoters and fans alike said the same thing. This kid is the future of wrestling. Rey Mysterio's early years weren't about titles or fame. They were about earning respect, proving that size doesn't define greatness. Every leap from the top rope, every tumble to the mat, every cheer from the crowd in Tijuana, all of it shaped the legend we come to know as the King of Lucha Libre. And in that humble beginning, beneath a mask stitched with hope, a hero was born. When Rey Mysterio landed in WCW, he wasn't just crossing borders, he was breaking the limits of what American wrestling had ever seen. It was 1996. The Cruiserweight division was exploding with talent. Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Ultimo Dragon. But Rey Mysterio? He was different. His first match against Dean Malenko stunned the crowd. The pace, the precision, the impossible reversals. Fans who'd never seen Lucha Libre suddenly couldn't look away. The mask, the colors, the speed. Rey looked like a superhero come to life. Every week, WCW Nitro became his playground. He made gravity look optional. His West Coast Pop and Springboard Hurricane Rana became instant crowd favorites. In 1996, he captured his first WCW Cruiserweight Championship, and just like that, the smallest man in the ring became the biggest star of the division. Rivalries defined this era. Eddie Guerrero, his closest friend and fiercest foe. Their match at Halloween Havoc 1997 remains one of the greatest in wrestling history. Title versus mask. It wasn't just a match. It was a masterpiece. Technique, emotion, respect, all wrapped inside a 15-minute war that still gives goosebumps to this day. By the late 90s, WCW tried to change him, to unmask him. They thought the mask was just a gimmick, but Rey's mask was his soul. When it was taken in 1999, it felt like a piece of Lucha Libre itself had been stolen. Yet, even unmasked, Rey never stopped flying. He continued to outshine giants twice his size, proving again and again that heart, not height, makes a legend. The WCW era was Rey's canvas, and with every flip, dive, and victory, he painted the future of wrestling. The world had seen Rey Mysterio Jr. rise from Tijuana to the top of the American stage, but destiny wasn't done with him yet, because the next chapter, WWE's Ultimate Underdog, was where Rey would truly become immortal. Stepped into the WWE, smaller than everyone else, but with the heart of a warrior. Rey Mysterio, already a legend in Mexico, was now about to become the ultimate underdog, spinning around opponents twice his size. It was unlike anything the WWE Universe had ever seen. Rey's 619 became more than a move. It became a symbol, a symbol of hope, agility, and never giving up. Against the giants like Big Show, Kurt Angle, and Eddie Guerrero, Rey defied every odd stacked against him. His tag team with Edge showcased pure adrenaline. His rivalry with Chavo and Eddie Guerrero brought raw emotion. And every night, Rey made fans believe that size didn't define greatness, spirit did. Then came 2006, a year that would define his destiny. After losing his close friend Eddie Guerrero, Rey carried the pain in his heart but turned it into purpose. At WrestleMania 22 against Randy Orton and Kurt Angle, he captured the World Heavyweight Championship, dedicating it to Eddie. That night, Rey Mysterio wasn't just the smallest world champion in history. He became the biggest heart in professional wrestling. The underdog had done the impossible. The boy from San Diego had become the king of the world. After years of defying gravity, Rey Mysterio's body finally began to feel the toll. The high-flying, heart-pounding style that made him a legend was now testing his limits. By 2007, the injuries piled up. Knees torn, tendons strained. Every jump off the top rope carried a question. Can he still do it? But Rey Mysterio wasn't built to quit. In 2008, after months of recovery, his return was electric. The mask, the fireworks, the roar of the crowd. It was like the heartbeat of SmackDown had come back to life. He fought through pain, night after night. Every time his body said no, his heart said see. His feuds with Chris Jericho and CM Punk became instant classics. Jericho even tried to unmask him, symbolically tearing at Rey's very soul. But the master of the 619 always found a way to rise above it. In 2010, Rey reached another milestone, defeating CM Punk at Over the Limit and later capturing the World Heavyweight Championship once again. For a man many said was past his prime, this was poetic revenge on time itself. But the injuries didn't stop. Year after year, the surgeries, the pain, the setbacks, they tried to break him. Yet every time Rey returned stronger, faster, sharper. By 2011, the new generation was rising. The Miz, Del Rio, Cody Rhodes. But Rey still stood tall, the symbol of endurance. His 2013-2014 run showed a veteran passing his torch, yet never letting go of the flame. The WWE Universe still erupted when that theme hit. Booyaka 6119. Because they knew what it meant. It meant passion. It meant perseverance. It meant that no matter how broken he was, Rey Mysterio was still the heart of Lucha Libre. And as he stepped away in 2014, the world didn't see a man slowing down. They saw a living legend who had already become immortal. The world thought they had seen the last of Rey Mysterio, but legends never fade. They simply evolve. In 2015, Rey Mysterio returned to his roots, the independent circuit and Lucha Underground, reminding fans that the true spirit of Lucha Libre was still alive in every move, every flip, every 619. But it wasn't just nostalgia, it was rebirth. He became a global ambassador of the mask, a living bridge between generations. From Mexico to Japan, from the US to the UK, Rey was now more than a superstar. He was a symbol. Then, in 2018, the miracle happened. That familiar music, Booyaka 619, hit once again, and the WWE Universe exploded. The crowd didn't just cheer, they celebrated. Their hero was home. Older, wiser, but still lightning fast, Rey returned to prove that passion never ages. His matches with Andrade, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns showed that Rey could still hang with the best in the world. Every 619 reminded fans that Lucha wasn't just a style, it was a way of life. And then came a moment that no one expected, Dominic Mysterio. The son of the legend stepping into the same ring, carrying the same mask legacy. Rey wasn't just a competitor now, he was a father, a mentor, a torchbearer. Their story was more than wrestling. It was family, heritage, and respect. Even when Dominic turned his back on him in the Judgment Day storyline, Rey didn't break. He stood tall, proving that forgiveness and pride could coexist in the heart of a true warrior. In 2023, Rey Mysterio entered the WWE Hall of Fame. The crowd stood in awe, not just for what he'd done, but for what he represented. The underdog who never stopped fighting, the kid who became a king. The mask that became immortal. As his legacy continues, Rey Mysterio reminds the world that greatness isn't measured by height, strength, or age. It's measured by heart. And Rey's heart? It still beats to the rhythm of Booyaka 619.